Hello everyone, my name is Cody Armstrong, and for this Digital Dimensions video tech tip, we are covering the Create Drawings task. Now for this example, I brought up just a real basic assembly, and my whole goal is with this is to show you how to automate the drawing creation process for many of the parts. So you'll see here my goal is to create drawings for each one of these parts. Now instead of creating them one by one, I'm going to use the SOLIDWORKS Task Scheduler to accomplish this. And its sole function is to automate common repetitive tasks. Now the task scheduler is located under the All Programs under SOLIDWORKS. You'll see a folder called SOLIDWORKS Tools, and in there you'll see the SOLIDWORKS Task Scheduler. If I launch this, you'll see a number of different tasks showing up on the left hand side here. I'm not going to go through all those now. I'm primarily going to focus on this Create Drawings task. So if I click on this, you'll see it gives me an option obviously to create a new task, but there are other things I have to define, namely the template I want to use. And that's an important part of this task, is you have to have a predefined template. And it's best that that template has predefined views. That really is what saves you from having to build these drawings yourself, is the fact that it automatically inserts the views. So if I browse here, you'll see I'm going to browse to my test template, a template I created just for this example. It has some predefined views in it. And my next step is just to add the files that I want to create drawings from. So I'm going to hit Add Folder, and I'm going to browse to the folder with the parts that I want to make drawings out of. So you'll see there, as soon as I add the folder, it adds it to that list. I also have file name or type I could choose from. I could also specify assemblies, so if I didn't want to work with just parts, I could work with assemblies. I also have when I would like this task to run, so task schedule, you can run it overnight if you like, and then where do you want the saved drawings to end up? Do you want them to go in the same folder or a different folder? So from this point, it's ready to run. Another thing that's worth noting though is you definitely don't want to run these with SOLIDWORKS also running. That's why I recommend shutting down or maybe even letting these run overnight. And the reason for that is it will launch a separate instance of SOLIDWORKS, so that's not a good idea if you're currently using SOLIDWORKS. So for in my case, I'm going to go ahead and shut down SOLIDWORKS and then run this task to kind of show you how you'd really use this. So I shut it down. Again, it's ready to run, so all I have to do is hit Finish, and you'll see it adds it to the list of active tasks. Then from there, it launches, and you'll see SOLIDWORKS launch in a little window in the top left corner. That is actually the task executing. So you'll see there it's creating a drawing for each one of the parts that exist in that folder that I pointed to. And that's basically how it works. It's going to open up each part one at a time and then make a drawing from that part. So I'm going to give this just a moment to run. I only have a few parts in here, and once that's done, we'll take a look at what we have. Okay, so it looks like it's just about done, and you'll see if I expand out the actual task, you'll see it created several subtasks, and what it did is it looked in the folder for each of the different parts and created a separate subtask for those. And if I refresh, you'll see they're all completed. So I'm going to go ahead and browse into Windows Explorer, and let's find these drawings that I just made. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of this. I'm going to open up the folder where these parts reside. And in there you'll see 4 drawings that match the part names. So those are the drawings we just created. So for those 4 parts, there are their drawings. And if I load SOLIDWORKS just real quickly here, we'll go ahead and open these up and just quickly take a look at them. So go ahead and drag and drop these into SOLIDWORKS. And again, I just want to point out what we've done. Essentially what I did was take those 4 parts that were in that folder and make drawings out of them using my established template, and that template had predefined views, which means a lot of the dimensions, all the front, top, right, and isometric views were automatically inserted. Now the dimensions are actually a separate option. So if I go into my document properties under detailing, you'll see this option that allows me to automatically insert dimensions upon view creation. That's really the key to the inserting of dimensions automatically. If you don't have that option on, it'll insert the views but not necessarily the dimensions. So you want to make sure you have that option on. And so that's pretty much it for the Create Drawings task. I'd like to thank you for joining us for this Digital Dimensions video tech tip. Please join us at www.ddicad.com.